Hello. On this episode of the Inventive Marketing Club, we're going to be looking at tracking codes, the pros and the cons. So what do I mean by tracking codes? Well, they're the things that you copy and paste from Meta or Google, little bits of JavaScript code that we put onto our website to track visitors and users of our website. So we know hopefully where they're coming from and how they're moving through our website. And if you're using ads in your marketing, seeing how people interact with your ads, and then hopefully move to your website and convert if they're buying something or filling out a form on your website. So as marketers, I find this incredibly valuable because we can see where our efforts are working, our social media bringing in the conversions or ads, or maybe some YouTube videos that we put up that's actually driving new subscribers. So it is really important to track people. However, I'm in conflict because when you track people, it can be very invasive in terms of taking private information away from them. And it's not necessarily private information like their innermost thoughts or things they've got on their computer. It's more about their general location, sometimes their exact location, the types of the setup on their computer, and things like that are used to then fingerprint that particular person. And then that sort of fingerprint, that loose ID of that person can be used then to follow them around the web. So Google and Meta are going to want to use that information to learn more about you. And that can be potentially used against you. It's certainly bought and sold by data brokers. And really, we should be in control of our information. Now, we had GDPR regulation come in. Oh gosh, it was a while ago now, which was meant to sort things out in Europe, but I think it had a bit of an impact initially. Maybe it's a bit muddy as to where things are now. So anyway, Jack brought this topic to our attention and wanted to talk about it. So I'm going to introduce Jack McCawtrey from Cawtrey. Say hello, Jack, and just tell us a little bit about why you think this is important, that people should be really considering what tracking they're using on their website.
Hi everyone, thanks Ben for the introduction. I think the key thing with tracking is I'm very much on the same sort of page of you in terms of that conflict, because we sit here sort of trying to help businesses and organisations to understand their marketing and how to sort of make sort of better data-driven decisions. But it's also then to be very mindful of the concerns and the risks of tracking data, and that you are only tracking pieces of information that you're actually going to use, and it's not going to be wasteful. But the concern that I also have on the flip side is then from the users, and yes, from their privacy perspective, but also how it can get in the way of somebody's marketing efforts, because you are in some ways possibly intentionally or could be unintentionally spamming them in some ways, for want of a better term. And that then has negative sort of repercussions of brand perception, possibly spend, but also then on the flip side, if you're tracking too much and you've got too much data and it's being slightly mistargeted, then it is going to get in the way of you as a business when you're looking at, let's say, planning your marketing activities or your ad spend, when you're looking at Google Analytics, and then you're factoring in to how you might want to advertise using a Meta Pixel or using Instagram and Facebook to target people. So my concern is that bridge of, and that not bridge, maybe a balance of, it's important to track. We all need data within our businesses and organizations, but it's one from a security point, but also to make sure that we're only getting what we really need to make intelligent marketing decisions.
Yeah,
and I think that was some of the things that come up in conversations when we're speaking with businesses.
Yeah, so essentially, as marketers, and you work on the social media side, the blogging side. I work on SEO and ads, and sort of come together. We want to understand where people are coming from. It helps our marketing. It makes us more effective and our clients more effective. But equally, we want to make sure that people aren't being over-tracked. And also, you mentioned, you brought it up there, too much data, too much tracking can actually make things more complicated. I just want to take a little step back before we launch into some of the details, and just let's have a look at what tracking is, what it looks like, what it can do. So I've brought up a couple of websites here. I've got the BBC and the Times. And so normally tracking you can't see. It's hidden code, it's JavaScript code usually that's embedded within the page that you can't.